Good morning, everyone. This is the Good Morning Education Show, and we're excited to be here today. And guess what? We had our first year anniversary. The Good Morning Education Show turned one yesterday, and so this officially a birthday edition of the Good Morning Education Show. We're so excited to have you all here, and it's a great morning. It's a great morning. Today, we're just going to sit down, relax, reflect, and forge ahead into the next 1 year. And I believe that for all our tribe members, this congratulations is also extended to you. It's such a pleasure to look at the fact that for the past 1 year, we've been on air, we've been online, and we've been having time sharing together, learning from each other. We're grateful to God for His mercies and all that. And I'd like to welcome Fee Folu. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning to Tribe. Good morning, Education Show. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, and welcome to a beautiful new week. It's a week of celebrations for us. It's a week of, it's a day particularly filled with celebration. So not only is the Good Morning Education Show 1 year, we have Dr. Bimbo Ogundere. Yesterday was her birthday, one of our analysts, our guests on the show. And today, today, I really need the bill beside me right now. It's World Rotimi A Tire Day because today is Mr. Rotimi A Tire's birthday. I'm tempted to sing for you right now, but I'm still in the studio
No bother.
and I don't want to release that CD. I don't want to release that
No
CD
bother.
prematurely. But happy birthday to you from the whole of the Good Morning Education tribe, analysts, viewers, everybody. We say happy birthday to you. Thank you for keeping on all the while and for staying true to the course.
Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone who's saying happy birthday to the show. And of course, happy birthday to me. So we have a lot to do today. I'm gonna ask you to try as much as possible to share with us the headlines. We'll have the headlines review, and then we'll talk about the conversation and the topic of the day. All right, Sophie, over to you.
Okay, so we'll be taking the headlines from the dailies this morning that have to do with the education sector. And well, I'm quite happy to note that a good number of the headlines are not like we've had. There is a mix of good news, and yeah, so we have less of the not so good news. Our first headline for today is Governor Ganduje orders recall of 6,995 teachers in community and voluntary schools. The Kano State government has commenced the deployment of 6,995 identified civil servants with teaching skills to various secondary, primary, and tertiary institutions. The governor approved the recall of these teachers on the government payroll, and he directed their immediate reassignment to public primary and secondary schools and institutes of higher learning that critically need teachers. And I personally believe this is a good one. You know, we have people in civil service or maybe in other areas of service who are good teachers who are supposed to be there in the schools, and yeah, we have them doing other things, and then the schools really critically need teachers. So, well, I hope the reception in Kano State would be encouraging to the governor and to what he's trying to do, and that instead of using threats, and because say something about if they don't resume today, then they will face this, disciplinary action. Instead of using threats, I think it's best for the government and the Ministry of Education and all of those involved in this recall and relocation to seek the collaboration and cooperation of the teachers. Yeah, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think that there are certain things that should not be found out from pronouncements and headlines. You see, if you really want solutions and you want them to run deep down, I think that the surprise factor shouldn't be there. So the threat wouldn't even be a thing like that. We need to learn
Yeah.
how to go a bit away from, authority driven or power driven policies to design thinking policies. So of course it's a good step, but if it's not something owned by the people, they will sabotage it. You understand what I'm trying to say? These are people who
Yeah.
themselves should be consulted, the terms should be reviewed, the duration and the scope should be specified.
Okay. I think there is a little disconnect there. We're not hearing you again for now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, you're back.
Yeah, so I said once there's a disconnect, most times what happens is that a lot of people know that if they're going to plan, people will hear about it and they might not have the spotlight anymore. So you don't announce and then hope to figure it out. You figure it out and then you announce.
True, true. And while you were speaking, Mrs. Titi Adeosi of Niger Kids joined us. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Today is a very, very special day. So I decided to, ensure that I am here for this very special day. So it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful good morning. As we are in the second half of the year, it's been a great year so far. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Fee. Good morning,
Good
Rotimi.
morning.
Okay, I will keep the noise making
Good
for later.
morning.
Good morning.
All right, we're going on with the headlines, and the next headline says Governing Council orders fresh process in appointing new UIVC. They had a process, but they are they are reviewing that now. Um, any thoughts on that, Mr. Dempsey?
Oh, my question is why are they reviewing the process? Was the process broken? Is the process the one that they've been using to appoint all the previous ones? So what's making this one different that they need to review the process? Is it that they didn't follow due process? What happened? So when it comes to politics, it's the same, whether it's at the national level or at local government level or at academia level. So my question is, what is it? The process that is fault? What are they really changing? Is it that they didn't follow due process? They didn't follow due process before, right? And I'm just wondering, is this also something that really should be making news when you think about it? This is like your it's like your internal meeting memo, and then you then start bringing it out to the public. I don't even think it should be something that is making the newspapers, because if you have an internal process that it's not as if we are talking about the national elections. This is something that is happening inside the school, that I just feel that it's something they should have better managed. If there's a process, follow the process. It's when people are trying to circumvent the process, that is there, that all, things like this come up. Um, those are just my thoughts. So just putting that out there.
Well, they said there was controversies surrounding the process, and they should have appointed a substantive VC since last year. But because of the controversies, they had to bring in an acting VC, and they're reconsidering the entire process. And well, they didn't give full details, but really, like you said, this is not newsworthy like that. It's their business. It's they should wash or they should set their house in order and just let us know that yeah, we already have a VC. Not take us through their process of we had internal wranglings and all of that. Anyway, UI will be fine. Moving on to the next one, 2021 UTME. Why there was poor performance? Jam registrar. Well, I really do know. I think JAMP needs to come out to make up their minds on what they're saying about this 2020 UTME, sorry, this 2021 UTME exams. Because initially their spokesperson had said no, there was the results were not poor. Then they came out again to say, there were people who were trying to sabotage, and now the registrar is giving reasons. I don't know if you have read the news, but the reason the registrar is given is well, to me, I don't know. Any thoughts on this? I think I want to leave Jam alone.
Is what to me saying something?
I don't think so. I don't
No,
think
no,
so. You
no,
can
I'm
go
not.
ahead.
Oh.
Okay.
Um,
The truth is that the percentage has been dropping over the years. Let's be honest. So, in 2020, from the news in 2018, 99%. Sorry, in 2020, 69% of the people got 160 and above. But in 2021, it reduced to 65%. To be honest, that for me that fall is fine based on all that's happened. We know that the last 1 year has been trying times. Majority of students haven't caught up. That's the truth. Majority of students haven't caught up. You find out that Fia, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You find out that a lot of other can I call them institutions, schools, countries, they looked at alternative ways of assessing the people rather than the normal. So you find that this year, like the IGC and all that, was it last year? They didn't actually take the IGC. They now use a very series of methods to then determine the scores. So for me, it's been a tough year. So that thing fell by this small percentage. It's not a major one. I think what's more important is to say, how do we help, the system? How do we help the people that were affected by the pandemic? Because if people weren't going to high-end private school, most of them did not catch up with what was lost. Remember that for a lot of people, they lost 3-4 months of schooling. They didn't have online, they didn't have anything. They tried to do, the radio and TV. It was nothing. If you send someone to do something and then he doesn't do anything for 3 months and comes back, man, all the things you've taught you know what, when we talk about the summer drain, after they come back from this long summer holiday, how is sometimes you'll be wondering whether these were the same children you taught. They seem to have forgotten everything. So it's not surprising based on all that happened last year that the results will not be fantastic. So I think it just even putting it in line of the pandemic. But we know that it's more than the pandemic that's affecting, the jam result. It's the constant dropping of the quality of education that children are receiving in their various schools. So it's more than just looking at it and saying it's the pandemic. It's really way more. Let me stop here.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. In the years where there had not been pandemic and the results were not fantastic, what was the reason? I think this is what not only JAM, but the entire education system should be looking at what's responsible for student performances in examinations, internal and external. Okay, moving on to the next headline. List of states to host 4 universities as Buhari gives approval. OK's 18 billion naira take off grants. Any comments on this, Mr. Adelson?
Let Rotimi talk first, then I will say my own.
Okay, okay. Okay, so Mr. Itaya, I'm waiting for you. I think maybe you should go on. Maybe you should go on, Mr. Adelson.
Okay, you know I'm a bit worried about new universities, um because the ones that we have existing are suffering under very poor funding. So, and this is a I don't even know whether the country can afford it, because new universities involve a lot of things. They involve the infrastructure, they involve the recruitment, trying to get the staff, the equipment, and all that. And then it's beyond that. So when you then set it up, can you sustain it? Do you have the funding to sustain it? Do you have the funding to ensure that the people that are coming into those universities would get good, affordable, quality education? Can you afford the yearly budget to absorb the cost of these 4 new universities? So for me, I keep saying that the way the government needs to look at it is public-private participation, rather than want to start something that I don't even feel that they should be doing. So let's look all over the world. In the end, the universities that are being able to address these things are not at all they're not at all, the public universities. A lot of these are private universities. So while we understand that you want to ensure these things are affordable, I feel that university education, to be honest, is not something that everybody must go for, which is why we need to increasingly look for vocational. But for me, I'd rather this if I'd seen that they spend this money on, creative vocational, I'll be happy. Because in the end, the idea of vocational is that from there, I can push the person into, immediately creating jobs or creating wealth. But with universities, just to push out more people into the unemployment market. But I'm even wondering that beyond just pushing people more into the unemployment market, is the quality, the skills that these people are coming out with. So rather than open new universities, can we just focus on the ones that we have? Can we focus on them to upgrade them, to get them better funded, that they might be able to do more? And then increasingly look, even the existing universities, look more to public-private partnerships that will help them, be able to bring out people with more skills that will even help them with their funding. So for me, I'm just a bit worried about new universities. I mean, there was also the news that was making headlines last week about Lagos State approving additional tertiary institutions, and I'm also the same thing. I was like, is this what we need right now? The ones that we have that we are barely able to fund, that are not even bringing out the quality of people. Do we want to now add another thing to them? I don't think so. Let's look more to public-private participation rather than want to go it all out on our own. If there's anything that I feel COVID has taught us, is the fact that this life, we do more, we achieve more faster, better with collaboration, not just planning to go it on our own. So that's my take on the subject. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I actually align with that's why I chose not to comment initially. I align with what you have said. If we have lecturers going on strike all the time, we have other university workers going on strike all the time because of inadequate funding for the institutions, because of unpaid salaries, because the schools are not well equipped and all of that. And then we want to bring in four new universities. I mean, it doesn't. I guess it makes sense to those proposing it and about to implement it, but beyond that, it's not making sense to some of us. It's not making sense to some of us. Okay, the next headline: list of 6 states owing NECO 1.8 billion naira in examination debts. Okay, it looks like we are. This is one part of the news that, well, any thoughts on this, Mr. Eitayo? There, there are 6 states, and going through the states owing NECO. Actually, they're all northern states, and I'm wondering why we have that concentration there, why it's 100% northern states owing for the exams. Well, I guess they understand. Or do you have any thoughts on this, Mr. Adewose?
in terms of numbers, they generally have a large population. But honestly, I think the first is, can this be validated? Because one reading through the comment is saying that they should provide the details of the students' registrations, the numbers of the schools, and the remittance made since, because some of these did since 2010. Okay. So they need to first of all validate these claims. I think that's the first thing. They need to validate this. They need to validate this. And it's the same thing that we are talking about in terms of the funding that's available. So if you do these exams, you're meant to the state is meant to pay NECO for all people that sit for the exams, right? But this has not been
Yeah.
happening. So I'm sure it's not been happening, and it's all part of what we are saying. So even NECO too, if the people that are meant to provide the funding that it needs, they're also not getting the funding. It also affects what they can do. So I keep saying this thing that we need to take a step back. There's nothing like free education. Education is not free. If it's given to you freely, it's because someone else is paying. So education is not free. So someone else is paying. But if the person that is meant to be paid doesn't get the funding, then imagine, can the person then give you back the value? It's just not possible. So increasingly, I feel that increasingly we need to keep looking for ways to make affordable. I keep saying, let's see how to leverage on technology so that we're not spending as much, we don't need as much resources. Let's also look at public private partnership, bring the money needed, expertise, and funding into the sector. And I've said it, I'll end it again by saying it. Let's leverage on technology.
Yeah, we should. We really need to leverage on technology and this partnership. We can't say it enough. We cannot say it. And thank God we're going through Chronicles of the past year. I'm sure we'll touch on this as we go. And good morning and welcome to Ugochi, the safety chick. Welcome to the show this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ritimi. Good morning, Mrs. Adeusi. Good morning to all our amazing listeners.
Thank you. Good morning. And our okay, jubilation as 71-year-old woman set new record in Unilag, emerges best PhD graduate. 71 years, and then really she deserves that bill and many more bills of blessing. Ugochi, let's go. Let's start with you.
She deserves all the accolades, and I'm happy to see that they did not say 71-year-old grandma. They just said woman. So thank God, at
Mm.
least people have learned lessons from what they said during Dr. Okonjo-Iweala's publication. So it's a really good one, and it's also encouraging and inspiring to the younger people that see, age is not age shouldn't be an issue. And I mean, if someone who is that older can do it, then you can also do it. And it's also inspiring to also other older people who have sort of given up their dreams of going higher because they sort of thought, what am I going to do in school? Is it still necessary? So stories like this encourage them that they can also go and aspire for their deepest goals.
Absolutely. And I think before we go on, we shouldn't just gloss over this woman. We need to celebrate her, name her, and celebrate her. So she's Felicia Marinze, Mrs. Felicia Marinze, 71-year-old. She's no longer a PhD student. She's a PhD holder now of the University of Lagos. And UNILAG says that's the oldest person that has been awarded a PhD degree in the history of the university. I mean, I'm proud right now. I'm proud, really proud right now of this woman. Mr. Dewusi, do you have anything to say about Mrs. Marinzi?
Honestly, that is so fantastic. It is just simply fantastic. Um, I know a lot of people that my friends, their parents went back to school to do one course or the other that they wanted to do. I feel that that just shows the strength of someone to chase your dreams, not allow any limitations as defined by society, you know, because you are this, because this is the norm. I just feel it's fantastic, and I really celebrate with her. I really hope that when I get to that age, I would be setting new records in whatever it is that my heart desires. So I think it's for anybody out there listening is to say that, look, don't let anybody put a limitation on you. Say, oh, you're too old to start a school. You're too old to go back to go and do the course. You will not do this. You will not do this. Don't listen to limitations by other people. Just chase after your dreams. It's never too old. I know there's one man that started his business at 60 and he turned it into a multi-million success. So it doesn't matter. Don't be limited by other people's limitations. I think that's what I want to say. Congrats to her. Wow, PhD. Hey, maybe there's still hope
PhD.
for me. This one that Rotimi is calling me doctor. Maybe there's still hope for me. So when I'm of this age, I will now go and get the real doctorate that makes me worthy of the name.
Yes, so I'm also encouraged actually, like PhD at 71. So nothing is stopping me. Um,
Absolutely.
any more thoughts on this, Mr. Itayo? And somebody has joined us. I
We,
can't see who
we
it
have
is.
Eben in the building. Eben from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey, from Las
Good
Vegas.
morning, Mr. Odetola.
Welcome, Eden.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you long as see Niger Kids on the show. Gee, welcome, welcome.
You come. It's good to see
Abi.
you.
I see on the show. I think maybe I've not been anytime I come around, I've not been opportunity. Those are the days you ask friends. So I am happy to be here this morning. Today is a special day. Good morning, Mr. Rowe. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Okay, and we are going into the is it really topic? We're going into the gist of the day because it's more like just taking a look at the past year of the Good Morning Education show. What have been our exciting moments? What are those topics that? What are those issues? Maybe not topics. What are those issues that we have brought up, that we have discussed? What have we seen as action points taken from these topics discussed? Are there some of them that we need to put a lot more emphasis on? Are there some of them that we need to revisit maybe. I know there were some that we didn't really finish, but that's from as early or as close as I know. So where do we start? Maybe we start first with the what we start first from the comments from our analysts. What has the show been like for you? What have been your exciting moments? What have been your best moments on the show? And if there were any low moments too, what have they been like? Oh, good morning, Olatunde Adebayo, our esteemed and executive tribe member. Good morning.
Mm.
Pleasant morning, executive educators. Mr. Rotimi, thanks for the last time out. This woman just set the record straight that learning is the ultimate goal in life. Great motivator she is. Yes, indeed, great motivator she is. So, who will? There's no cat to bill now, but who will lead the way this morning? Maybe I start with Mr. Iben. Yes, you just joined us, so let's start with you. What has the last 1 year been like for you regarding the Good Morning Education show? Oh wow! And just as we were getting ready to take his comment, uh, network did its thing. Okay, Ugochi, let's go next to you.
Okay, so the past one here has been very interesting. We've covered very amazing topics. We've garnered lots of unique and beautiful insights from the analysts. I think that's my favorite part of being on the show. The fact that we're able to talk about different things and share different perspectives on it, and also generate solutions because, in the course of talking about these things, we're also pointing out a way forward. We don't just come here and only talk about the problems. We also talk about what can be done about it. And it has actually made me to, should I say, get to know the analyst a bit more because maybe prior to now, they were just more of them that I just knew by virtue of their names or because, oh, we're all in the same education space. But coming every morning, it almost feels like we know ourselves, almost feels like we're family, almost feels like we're a team. So it's been a good one. We've it's been quite interesting. I was just telling a friend of mine that I'm just a bit worried that when this time zone thing happens, I might be missing out on the morning on the morning show. But I'm happy that the past 1 year has been really interesting. It's been enlightening. Every day we talk about something different. I go away with new knowledge. I share my own insights, and it's just been an amazing experience. And then, of course, we are loyal. Listeners, always sharing their own thoughts and comments. So it's just been an amazing platform to empower and equip our educators and also build relationships with ourselves.
Thank you. I'll come with my own comments. So let's go to Mr. Jose next.
For me, it's very reflective of what I said Toyosi, Safety Chick said. It's been a year of friendship, of building deeper friendship, of connecting with different people. So see, like I now know Finyi, I've met Grace, Eben, Jude, KK, and so many people that have come on the show, and even from the listeners. Do you understand? If you're, and then just some people that have been consistent. So I can imagine going somewhere and they say, "Oh, I know you're not," and then the person says, "They say, I know you. You're one of our tribe members of Good Morning Education Show." So it's been a thing of networking and of expanding relation. I think it's also been a good thing to be able to give voice to a lot of things that go through your head as you see as you see the news, the headlines, things happening. I've liked a lot of topics that we've done over the year, just thinking about it, and it's also giving me ideas. I thank God for the partnership that has also come out of it. So for me, it's been 1 year of learning, of discussing. When you discuss a topic, it allows you to think even deeper than you ever thought about it. And when you hear other people's perspective, it also helps to put yours in balance, or and shine a light to an area that you've not. And it's been wonderful hearing views of three, four, five, six people on various topics. It's really been an eye opener for me. It's been something, I have enjoyed. Just realizing that the education space is not all woe. It's also a good thing. When we come on the Good Morning Education show, it's realized that there are various pockets of people all over the country doing different things that are helping. And our prayers are one day all these little drops of mighty oceans would do it. And I think most importantly is also just to celebrate Rotimi, his doggedness. It was times when I felt, I'm going on break, or what's be Aisha, we should not go on break. Just his doggedness to keep this thing going is a testament to the kind of person he is. And I think just also the appreciating different people that have walked in to be part of this journey for the past 1 year. It's just mind boggling, and I really celebrate him for making this. It's one thing to say something, it's another thing to bring it to life, and then it's even a greater feat to keep fanning the flames so that it doesn't burn out. So kudos to him. Thank you for making this happen. Thank you for keeping it going. And thank you for being the last man standing up in all things. Yes. So that's it from me.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Mr. Odetola. Are you there?
Yes, Iben is here. I don't know whether you mentioned my name.
Yes, I did. Over to you. Let's
Iben
hear
is
from
not
Okay.
used to being called Mr. Odetola. That's why he
Okay,
did not
sorry.
recognize his name.
Ugochi. Please. Okay.
I'm used more to
Oh yeah,
about
Iben, talk your
explaining it
own.
because it's the in nearest picture, like somebody said, I can't be called Prof. Iben or Detola or Professor Detola because I'm trying to be about the issue of doctorate. It's one of my interests. Only education, also learnable experience. I don't know.
Wow, the
Iben,
network
your
is
voice
not
sounds like it's
good.
a radio recording. Like maybe you're talking on
Exactly.
radio and there's some static and all that.
The network is not great this morning at his end, and maybe we just okay. While we wait for him, I would give my what my own thoughts, what my comments are about the Good Morning Education show. I started off as being a follower, a tribe member of on the show, and for me, it was something new, especially in the area of education. I have always known that I was going to do something in the area of education, and then coming across a show that analyzed issues in education, that brought together industry experts that could prefer workable solutions if they are only being listened to, and if we're paying attention to them. These are solutions that can really move us forward. It was like a big discovery for me, and following the show since then. I mean, the topics sometimes are like shocking. You see some topics that are like, what is this again? What could this be about again? And I really must say that it's a testament of resilience also, that under different circumstances, the show has kept on, has gone on, and that to me is what is part of the skills, the part of what we should be celebrating, part of what should be should be an integral thread in the fabric of the system. Not the government is not giving us this, so we can't do anything, or this school head is doing this, or my head of school is doing that. I've requested for this to be able to teach the students well, and I didn't get them. So because of that, I just hands off, and well, let's all keep looking at it. That residence, seeing that residence going on, keeping the show going, and every day coming on with something different from Monday to Friday is a huge testament of hard work, of resilience, and of commitment to excellence. So the Good Morning Education show has been a fantastic one for me to follow and to even recommend to other educators. It's been awesome being a part of this family. I mean, I have met people just last week. Last week I met our esteemed, try to remember, Olatunde Adebayo, and yes, and having met some of the analysts, I look forward to meetings that they will see Mrs. Ajayi, meeting Grace, Eben, Ifiok. I mean, it's really been fantastic. It feels like gaining new friends, and not just friends, not just flippant friends, but people with depth. So it's really been great being here. Over to you now, Eben. I hope the network is better.
Yes, sorry, a call actually came in to
Okay.
my patient for today's anniversary. You know, it's just like an anniversary. I'm celebrating 1 year of being live. It has not been easy at all. Waking up almost every day, 8 a.m., especially during the week. You know, there were some time I'll be on the morning on the Good Morning Education show, and nothing has actually happened at all to the body. You know, it has not been easy at all, but it has been awesome here, meeting a lot of people, celebrating hot topics that even to actually deliberate some of those topics. I have learned a lot from many people in terms of safety, in terms of technology, in terms of understanding subject matter, content itself. It's a lot of people that we only see each other on Facebook, or apart from seeing each other on Facebook, we only say hi, but due to the show, we talking, and then we've actually been close to each other. It has actually been a very big time opportunity to talk to creative minds in the sector, and also easy to create a circle. So it's not easy at all to people of friends in the sector, especially in this sector. If they are working in government sector, that one is fine. But if they are working great friendship around the private sector, it's not that easy. Only in your organization you only have friendship. But the show actually brought a lot of people together, and then it gives opportunity for collaboration, and also opportunity to meet great minds. It is our Let me appreciate Mr. Rotimi for his community. That's not be easy. I can't do it. I know somebody saw me also on Saturday. Drive. You have to do your lecture every p.m. Lecture is still when we talk about Mr. Rotimi, waking up 8 a.m. is not so. In the evening, your eyes is already open. So I want to appreciate everyone, and if I've not been considered for this, that's not been uh, when I said, hey, let me on the show. Thank you very much, and I know it will be a platform that is going to improve, and a platform that is going to spread light. So
Thank you very much for that. And so now we are going to the how do Yorubas put it? big masquerade that comes out at the end of the show, or at the end of the celebration. I'm trying to
Please
literally
say it in
translate.
Yoruba.
Thank you. I'm trying to literally translate that that to English. Eégún ńlá tó ń kẹ́yìn ìgbàlẹ̀. So I don't know ìgbàlẹ̀ in
Wow.
English, and that's what I was trying to bring up. But okay, so
Igbale, is it not sweet? That time they used to
no,
say
no,
Operation
ìgbàlẹ̀.
Igbale in Lagos. Okay, Igbale.
No, 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 no. It's Igbale. Igbale is actually the like the place that houses the masquerades. So when they're
Okay.
coming out, when they're filing out, they say it is the biggest one that comes out, or the grandest one that comes out last in the procession.
Okay.
Yeah, so I finally figured that out. Yeah, okay.
Well done.
Everybody knows the big masquerade that comes at the end of the procession. And I'm going to just ask him to say, Tayo, why did you decide to start this show, and what has kept you going? Why have you not packed up the show in 1 year?
All right. Thank you everyone for the messages. Thank you. I think that there are many stories behind the scene on the Good Morning Education show. The name and the program had actually been like in my head since 2018, 2019. And I've just been having flash, how do you put it now? Flash programs and all those things. But Titi was a big instrumental factor to that. I remember when the pandemic started, even before the pandemic, if she can remember, um, kept on having conversations, and then I'll share and say that, you know what, and I'm thinking of doing this and blah blah blah. Okay, now let's do this. And you know, it was that constant conversation that shaped the Good Morning Education show to what it is. And so that was how this story began. And then when you look at it also, um, the not giving up. Well, I'm not the kind of person that believes that something should die except you have an express instruction, or better still, it's totally not working. But based on the objective behind starting the show wasn't about fame. The show was about knowledge exchange, knowledge transfer, sharing together. And I felt that we were not failing at that. And for some things like this to grow, we know the vision behind it is not something short term, it's for the long haul. So it would be wrong for me to quit. That's one. Number two, I love getting to make sure Titi wakes up early. She's always sleeping late. So
Let's
knowing
let's
fully
not
well
talk about
that
that today.
knowing fully well that I'm going to cut her sleep short, that gives me joy. And then of course that time when we started, Ugochi's smile and her white teeth was a motivation. Even though she has decided to make it something of scarcity. I don't know. And then of course our friend from Las Vegas, Nevada. I remember some of the episodes where Eben will bring illustrations from his childhood, from his schooling
I'm telling
days,
you.
and it was just full of humor, a lot to learn. But it was like we're
Yeah.
having. It didn't feel like it. The show is not to me. It doesn't look like how this when you go to TV stations, everything's serious, serious, serious. There's laughter, there's fun, there's lessons learned. We are real people. That's just it. It's a bit unconventional, but I love it that way. Jude from the tech side. I remember when Jude used to call Nana, you know, and then we had gifts from people from far away. I have personal messages from people who watched the replay. Someone sent a voice note crying that this just an inspiration, and I'm wondering what is reading headline causes all to cry. But so because of these things, it will be wrong to give up. And of course it's a community effort. Many people have stood in the network has showed itself. But then we thank God for we thank God for everything. So I think to a large extent We need to celebrate it as well. Some of you need to celebrate it. She's that kind of person that you know is always looking at why not, if not, that kind of thing. And I've always enjoyed sharing ideas and plans with her. Unlike some people, it's just for them to hear gist. For her, it's more than gist. It's follow up, it's execution in the process as well.
Oh, you're making me blush.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, going over the year. I mean, it's been all have said it. It's been a good time of learning, and really looking forward to this getting reaching many more people. So before we round off this morning, are there any favorite topics for us? I just go around, or we just, as it comes to any favorite topics that we have treated that stood out for you, or that really was a highlight? Um, who wants to go first?
Favorite topic. I think I'll find difficult to say favorite topic, but I love the topic we dealt with coming back to reopening of schools.
Mm.
We really had, serious deliberations, safety consciousness, safety chick was there giving us nudges, and we talked about mentorship, talked about a lot of things. And then of course there's a particular one, I'll say memorable, not necessarily the favorite, where we had like a joint session. If you remember, September, we had a SUBEP training, and that morning, we kind of had a convergence. So Safety Chick was there, Eben was there, Titi was there. We all just came in to the compound where we were to do the training, and the show was still on. So that was quite a memorable one for me.
Yeah, that was memorable too. Wow. Honestly, we've had a lot of memorable. There's sometimes when you feel as if, oh, Rotimi, we need to have a part two. After we finish the sham, I'm sending Rotimi a message. We need to have a part two on this topic. We did not finish. we didn't. We didn't finish. We didn't do justice to the topic. So we've had lots of things that we've talked about in the Good Morning Show. I think for me, it's just always one of the things I enjoy about the show is to get Rotimi's thing about the topic and be, like Queen said, be completely clueless as to what exactly does he want us to talk about. You know, when Rotimi says that topic, and you're like, you have to please explain.
Be like,
Rotimi
please explain.
is the master of I don't even know what to call it. Topic and headlines that give nothing away till you ask him. So it's just been a great time, and then of course our ending. It's always
Yeah, yeah.
a great one on the Good Morning Education.
Yeah. Yes, well, it's always a great morning here. And before we leave this morning, I'm going to co-opt us. I know we probably didn't prepare for this. In fact, I'm almost sure we didn't prepare for this. But I'm going to put everybody now. We're entering a studio together. Now it's not the Good Morning Education studio. We're entering a music studio together, and we're going to sing a happy birthday song for the Good Morning Education
And also for Mr.
show,
Rotimi.
and sing the birthday song. To sing, do we do it? Let's do it as one to cover two, so that we can put in all of our best into the harmonizing and the harmonization. So Ugochi, be our choir mistress this morning.
Who are
Yeah, that is how
you
I
not the one
want
that said we should
it.
sing song?
Well, I'm the proposer, but then you are the coordinator of the studio session.
Okay,
So,
well, I like to be a coordinator. Coordinator means I'm just going to say 1, 2, 3, go. All of you will now start.
no, the coordinator leads. You lead from the front now. Don't do that. Don't do that. You lead, will follow.
That's not what choir mistress used to do. They just stand in front and they're demonstrating for you people now be singing. Okay, yeah, let's be serious.
So on the show this morning,
Okay,
we're changing the
everybody
definition
clear
of
your voice.
coordinator.
Clear it. Again, again, again. Okay.
Probably need to pass us probably.
One. Are you receiving the virtual babablis I just sent round now? Please check, it's just
Yeah, I got
around you. If you can't see it, you don't have spiritual eyes. Okay, 1, 2, go. Happy birthday to you. Happy
Rotimi, happy
birthday to
birthday
birthday
to you.
to you. Good morning,
happy
education show.
birthday. Happy birthday, Mr.
Happy
Rotimi. And good morning,
birthday,
education. Show.
Gracious show.
Gracie.
Happy
Tired.
Happy
birthday
Oh, check it out.
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy
May the
birthday
good Lord bless
Oh, God bless
you.
you. May
bless
the
you.
good Lord
Good Lord
bless you.
bless you. May
Good
the
Lord
good Lord bless
Good Lord bless
you.
you.
you. Rotimi,
Oh,
tired.
may
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 good
the
Lord
good Lord bless you.
hip hip hip.
Hooray! Don't worry. By the time we remix and master the track is going to come out much better than it sounded. And yeah, it's been a great morning this morning. It's been a beautiful morning. Going back, we're thankful for the year. Thankful, thoughtful, and thankful for the year and for all tribe members that have been there, for everyone who has subscribed to the YouTube channel, for everyone who shares, for everyone who makes the dates with us in the mornings, for everyone who sends messages, everyone who watches the recap. Thank you. Thank you. We say thank you for being there and for making the show worth it. Thank you to each of the analysts, to those that are here, those that are not here. Thank you for being here and always taking out time to share from your well of knowledge. And this morning, we are not going to make an exception, but in a grander way. We are going to sign off and wish our tribe members a great morning and a great week ahead. So, are we ready?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
It's
Always,
3, 2, 1, go.
it's
always a good
always a
Always
marvelous,
a great,
fantastic,
great, great, great
awesome, great
morning
morning on the
on
Good
the Good
Morning
Morning
education.
Education
Education
Show.
Show.
Bye bye, everybody.